Kalamoja currently right now, if you really want to make a difference in Kalamoja, you need at least 10 billion shillings. A 3-hole disc, plow disc with a harrow, with a planter, will cost about 162 million. That is the 75 horsepower and above. That will be able to do a good job. And because of the season, right now we are in the rain season, so you really need to have machines that will help. The people are so weak, they can't use a hoe to plant. Otherwise, by the time they finish using a hoe, the rain season will be coming to an end. So we need to plant food in Kalamoja in the next week. So that's why I believe if really Ugandans want to see Kalamoja begin to change, we need to get into farming. First of all, we need to feed them. They need something like 4 to 5 million shillings, 4 to 5 billion shillings, 4 to 5 billion shillings for food alone. I'm not talking about just beans and posho. No, I'm talking about 45 meals like we've seen with that little kid. I mean, he would have died by now. And the picture like that is so many everywhere. So they need to be saved. They need health-saving food. And then after they ate that food, they need to go back to the original food. Karamojong eat sorghum, but they can also eat maize. They can also eat beans and eat other stuff. Then the remaining of the money will be for fuel, for tractors, and buy seedlings. I was talking to Dr. Kasim of Naro just before we kicked off the program, and he told me that yes, they've got all different types of sorghum. Sorghum for Naro breweries, which makes beer, but also sorghum for food. So I told him we need sorghum for food first. Then the other one, they will be able to plant it for their own commercial purposes. But right now, Kalamoja, the 9 districts, whether we like it or not, if we don't plant food this season, and I'm going to repeat myself, I've said this over and over again, we have a terrible case on our hands. We have a terrible case on our hands. But not only Kalamoja, World Food Program and other organizations, the United Nations, they are saying in Uganda 10 million people are hungry. They don't have enough to eat. Do you know what that means? We're going to have malnourished people. We're going to have kids who cannot cope up with school because they are hungry. We're going to have people whose body are going to be susceptible to any communicable disease, like TB, like malaria, like marasmus, like kwashiorkor. So growing food now should be our #1 priority. As a country, as a people, as a generation.
We also know that climate change is driving this.
The church, the way God has been controlling climate change, and he put it in his word that pray, pray. And after you pray, then work. I think we're not serious. To me, and I'm not talking about the church alone, but everybody in Uganda. 2 years ago, Uganda was blessed with a lot of rain. Our rivers and lakes overflooded. What did we do with that water? How did we then go into the problem of the drought for 9 months, to the point whereby our people are dying of hunger? We need to change the conversation. We seriously need to change the conversation. And this conversation is not to be left to government alone. But I think every Ugandan must begin to realize that if today we get rain, plant something. Plant a tree, plant a bean, plant a maize in your compound. Ugandans, if you go around Kampala, all our compounds are full of flowers. But who eats flowers? We want to impress people. We are into the thing of impressionism. Of course, we've now discovered that Uganda, since independence, we have always only imported in the country 4,700 tractors. But how many Ugandans are importing very expensive cars? We need to change the conversation. And the conversation cannot only be run by government. I think it has to be run by us, the people. What do we want? What are we seeing? As I said, East Africa right now, Uganda is the center. We are no longer landlocked. We are the center of East Africa. And if we can't feed ourselves and feed our neighbors, as our national anthem says, then we can't hold. We are the most blessed country with all kinds of type of climate and weather. So climate change is real, but it's self-inflicted upon us. God has been right now rain is coming. But it's raining in areas where we don't want it. So what do? Let's pump water where they grow food. I'm telling you, the priorities must change. The priorities must change. We can't go on with this and we talk about it and then 6 months later we come back at it. This is not being against anybody or anyone, but the conversation must change. The priorities must change. When you see human beings reduced to bones.
So how many churches are participating in this campaign?
We are appealing to everybody. And I know they are responding. But you know we've been here before. This is not the first time we talk about Kalamoja. We've been here before. But why are we visiting this situation over and over again all the time? Because we are not doing what we are supposed to do. You can't put on a suit before you take a bath. There are first things first.
One would like to know.
Our time to go live was 2 hours on other media houses. But as you saw, others were coming, bringing in the money. So many of them are going to come today. Others, pardon?
Could you just name them and then how much they've come?
We thank Apostle of Grace. He has given 100 million. And Apostle Mukisa has given 20 million. Union Miracle Center has given 6.7 million. And there are others that I read. Another pastor has given $1,000, that's 3.8. And others is going to come. By the time we reach evening, we will be posting how much money has come in. And we're going to push it the whole month of September. Our target is to raise 10 million. I don't believe in pointing fingers. I believe in doing something. Then probably someone will wake up and realize we are doing this unto ourselves. We are doing this one. These tractors came to Uganda, I don't know when. They're here. I don't know. How many tractors do you have?
Just brought, we got around 10. But,
You see, even these people know we are not serious. A whole company like Mahindra brings in a whole country of 45 million Ugandans 10 tractors. Because they know we are not serious. We talk about it, but we are not doing it. I thought she was going to say 100. Then I'll be at the door of Ministry of Agriculture and Finance that I need those tractors. I'm taking them to Kalamoja. But they brought only 10. Because they know Ugandans are not going to talk about it. They'll talk about it, but they'll not do it. We've done enough talking. Let's go farming. Misconception about Kalamoja. Those people, if you have seen in their homes, they have a granary. The granary doesn't have dry meat. I think there is a lot of, we need to educate Ugandans about Uganda. That's the foremost. We still have the colonial things they put in us in our books, that Kalamoja, they are cattle wrestlers, so they're going to be cattle wrestlers all their life. Now climate change has come. There's no grass to keep the animals anymore. You know, they don't have more animals to keep to raise their goats anymore. The world has changed and we need to adapt. So I think first of all we need to know When I went to Chiriandongo, they told me the only thing they grow here is maize. I refused. I refused. They said this place is so dry, you don't mind. I refused. I planted matoke, it grew. I planted mangoes, it grew. We have one of the best 50 farms in the whole country. We were given an award by Harvest Money. There is a very misconception about people, even in Uganda. We think the Kalamoja only need milk and blood. But when they were given this 45 food, they ate it. And they are dancing for it. Kalamoja, by the way, is not a desert. Kalamoja is one of the most fertile land. It's the only few lands Uganda have where you can grow wheat. My question is, if Kapchorwa, Kalamoja, and other parts of Kabera Maido and other parts of Germany can grow wheat and Kalahari, why are we still putting money in importation of wheat? Why don't we give it to the farmers there? So we need a conversation.
Uganda version.